Recently, while up in the Appalachian Mountains, I was at an herb conference and I took a class with Daryl Patton about lesser known herbs. This is one of the plants that he talks a lot about. This is Pedicularis Canadensis. Pedicularis is a low-dose botanical, but not for safety reasons. If you take more of it, it's not going to hurt you. It's just that it is incredibly effective. So a small amount usually can set you straight. This plant is particularly beneficial for people who are very tense or are dealing with a lot of muscle pain or achy muscles. It works really well on striated muscles, not so much smooth muscles, though I have heard of some women finding it effective for menstrual cramps. So I guess that it can kind of go either way. This is a plant that affects the peripheral nervous system, not so much our consciousness. So when you take it, compared to plants like kava, which affect the brain, and that is how they relax the brain, then it relaxes the body. This plant in particular tends to relax the muscles in the body. So it doesn't alter your mind or your consciousness, and I like that about it. So I'm excited to work with it. If you go looking in herb books or even online, you may have a hard time finding information about this plant. I'm not sure why it isn't more widely spread, but I believe it has something to do with it usually only being found in wild places. It's not as easy to cultivate in your own garden. Therefore, you'll never find it on herb stores or online shops or things like that. So it's one that you have to get into the wild for.
When you stumble upon it in the wild, it will usually be in abundance. It's incredibly important to harvest these plants ethically. Before I begin gathering any wild plant, I always look around the area and make sure that there are several stands of it. That way you can make sure that you don't wipe it out. Gather a few from one plant, move on to the next, leaving the roots and plenty of flowering heads to seed out for the future.
There are, however, several different varieties of Pedicularis. The one that I have in my area is the Pedicularis Canadensis. So that's the one that you see me working with today. The common names is betony or wood betony, not to be confused with the Stachys botanica, which is also known as wood betony. They are totally different plants with completely different uses. And what you see me doing here is just separating the stems from the flower heads. For my tincture that I'm going to be making, I'm only going to be using the flower heads and the leaves.
As you can see, the flowers are incredibly beautiful. These will open up and get yellow blooms on them. The leaves have almost a fern-like appearance and they can grow to be rather large. I'll be using them both in the tincture. Another interesting fact about Pedicularis is that it has a sort of parasitic relationship with some other plants that may be growing nearby it. So if you happen to find it and it's growing near toxic plants, say like poison ivy, you would not want to gather that Pedicularis and use it for medicine. I'm making my tincture at a ratio of 1:2, so what you see me doing right now is just weighing it all out. And then I'm going to add it to my blender and blend it all up with a little bit of pure grain alcohol. Blending it all up will increase the surface value and make it easier for the alcohol to get in there and extract all of the medicinal properties. When dosing the Pedicularis, it's better to start with a small dose, and then you can titrate up as needed. Pedicularis also works really well in conjunction with other herbs. I have a lot of tension in my neck and my shoulders, and I've been using a blend of skullcap and cohosh to help with that. I'm thinking that I'm going to add Pedicularis to that blend and just see how that goes. This plant may also work really well for people who are suffering from tension headaches. I'm really looking forward to trying it out. Make sure that you slap a label on your tincture whenever you are done making it. I like to include the ratio, the name of the plant, and what type of alcohol that I'm tincturing it in. Happy medicine making, friends, and remember to forage responsibly. Love you, bye!